Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I absolutely love Apocalypse Hotel. This show is so freaking good. And episode 4 it was a movie. Like, it was literally, it played out like a movie. Just the amazing presentation itself, everything kind of laid out perfectly. The later part was just chef kiss. The Tanuki, the cowardice Tanuki with a chainsaw versus Tremors, apparently. It's like a Tremors monster. I wasn't really feeling Tremors monster besides it being underground until like the later part with the little snake tongue thing coming in there, creeping around. It was just too freaking good. And my gosh, I just had to get on here and just talk about this episode through and through. If you're not watching Apocalypse Hotel, please go watch it. Now, I've said before that the show is sort of paced in a way that a lot of people aren't going to like it because it's got just too much emphasis on just really good charm. The characters themselves are just kind of lovable. They have a great kind of chemistry about them. And there's a lot of mystery about the world itself. This whole setting of this post-apocalypse setting with robots basically introducing aliens to the niceties of a hotel and giving the perfect service and all that kind of stuff. But I really felt like episode 4 was kind of a nice shift into a different direction, as it kind of introduced the Tanuki family coming there, this alien group that are like Tanukis coming to Earth and them helping them out, and then the Tanukis taking advantage of them, and then ultimately coming to this point where Ponko, which is the daughter, she at some point wants to work at the hotel. And I think she has been like an absolutely perfect addition to it. I think she's a good play off of Yashiro. Yes, we technically had the environment checker, and he was sort of just playing in this kind of like almost a dandy kind of personality, pushing back on Yashiro. But I really feel like Ponko is just perfect because he's almost got that kind of, cowardice nature to herself, very innocent, but at the same time just more bubbly and fun. And I think that plays out really well in episode 4, as again we have the whole situation with them not having some good food. The boy is sick of the food. They're sick of eating the same food. And so this pushes Yashiro, who wants to serve them really well, to go out and try to find different ingredients. Despite the fact that we've already had this whole situation where she got sick of them being selfish and punched the guy. I like the fact that she got an achievement for punching the dude in the last episode. But yes, even though she got sick of him, she's going out to get some ingredients. And I like this because it's this whole play out of them traveling together. And again, the play off of Punko and her kind of very inquisitive nature. I think it just plays out really well. But yeah, that whole segment was fantastic. Them traveling together. I like the radio at the very beginning. It could talk to people at great distances. And so she started talking to her grandfather. Not that far. No, it doesn't work for that. It doesn't work for that. But it was cool as they were traveling around. It was kind of an interesting little insight into the world, and not really too much, but they had this one segment where they walked by one of these stores. And one of the stores actually had fashion in the window. And the fashion itself was the gas mask, like the suits that they had to wear in order to live in the bad environment before they left. So it's like, I guess at some point that they were wearing these suits for so long, it became this point where stores wanted to have fashion with it. I got a huge kick out of that. Like, they have these little mannequins that are posing with these different outfits, and it's like, okay, yeah, I could totally see that happening. But no, just the travel through the actual city, beautiful environments, the way it laid out. At some point, we got to see a robot in the background that was broke down as well, which that was interesting. And again, technically at some point, them traveling underground, coming up to this other stop at the subway, and it coming to a point where the desertification has kind of reached a certain point, which does establish this idea that Yashio has been sort of monitoring that, and that it's come a lot quicker than they kind of anticipated, which makes me believe that could be sort of a story beat later on in the series, that with this whole post-apocalyptic setting, the idea of them trying to establish still a living environment for people to come, that it could be the idea that the environment itself dies once it reaches the hotel and they can't really function anymore. Now, again, they're robots, so they still have things, but it could end up taking a lot of the resources they have away from them, and thus them not able to achieve their goal. I don't know. I don't know if it'll go that direction, but yes, the whole bit at the desert was really where the thing just started to kick up. I absolutely love that whole bit. Yes, technically them going to them running the camel first, the camel spitting in her face. You look weird, and it just spits in her face. But then I'm going to this little forest. I'm doing a little bit of fishing, which was really cute. Yeah, Ponko really feeling like she wants to be a part of the staff, helping out and everything like that, fishing up a bunch of stuff. This big, massive worm shows up. This massive, which again, sort of like a Tremors creature, shows up underground, eats this camel down. They go over, they find the camel's hump, and they're like, oh, let's help him out of the ground. And they go to lift up the hump, and literally the hump is just the only thing left, so it just gushes out blood. But yes, this massive creature shows up. And cool, because Yashio does acknowledge that this is something that's not in the database. Even though she said that she can manage anything, any creature on Earth, she has ways of dealing with it. But this is something that is not in her database. This is something foreign, this is something new that's come here. Which does imply, along with the mushroom creature, along with the Tanukis, this worm thing has showed up. Which, yes, Ponko does know what this thing is. They didn't say it, but it kind of made me believe that this worm may have been what is the downfall of their original planet. But this is something that is a planet destroyer, and it has somehow arrived on Earth, and it's destroying it. It has any planet that it gets up on, it destroys it. So obviously this is something that Yashio wants to take care of, which I love. I love the little meeting. Of course, they first run away from the thing. They get up onto a building. And then, yes, it gets in this whole thing where Yashio is trying to figure out a way of stopping it. Okay, we have this big crane over here, so we're going to do a fishing. We got to take this thing down. We can fish it out. Yeah, it doesn't like environmental checker guy's laser works. He tries to shoot the thing. Holy crap. But no, they go through this whole process. And Yashio is going to lure the thing first. And because she powered up the crane, she doesn't have any battery left. So there goes this whole thing where she's constantly trying to explain that she's going to be the lure. And then she just powers down. Power save mode. And then she kicks back up and she starts talking again. And then Poncho's over here like, welcome back. And she starts to extract the same thing again. And then she powers down again. And then Poncho's like, no, I'll handle it. And then suddenly Yashio comes back again and says, I'm going to bait it. Oh, wait. No, wait, you can't do that. It was great. But no, this is cute. From this point on, everything's been kind of like charming and funny. But this point on was just absolute cinema. Because it is Poncho basically deciding at this point, even though she is a Tanuki, and Tanukis are typically cowards. She's always, their ideas, they always are afraid. They always change forms to hide. They're always hiding. They are the prey. They're always the prey. And that's why a lot of symbolisms in this whole segment for Poncho is her desire to want to stand up and have that courage. I'm going to do it. For the sake of the hotel, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what's best for everybody so we can go back together, go back to the hotel, and continue to enjoy things. So she's pushing herself. And then Yashio proceeds to tell her, be careful so we can turn home. And by the way, extraterrestrials are not eligible for workers' comp. She's like, okay. She's like thinking that she has one last thing to say. But no, then she goes down there, goes to run. The animation, friggin' phenomenal. Just her running straight toward the camera, the creature behind her the entire time, the swing coming down. Yeah, a quick, like, too long held shot of the hook coming down towards it, but still whatever. They start to run away, running up the side of the building, the thing attacking at that point, her flipping out there into the Tanuki form, rolling into the building. This is where it became Tremors for me. Because yes, typically Tremors are like, for those that have not seen the movie series, which I love the first one. I know this kind of dates me. I love the first one a lot. I watched it so many freaking times. I didn't care for the other ones. But I love the first one. But this is where it hits me, because this is where, like, when she's inside the building and she's hiding and she's scared and she's got her tummy is rumbling, suddenly this little kind of snake thing comes in there, and it's the tongue of this massive creature. And it comes like slithering in there, and it was just beautiful because it's got that tension in the scene where you got that, like, oh man, unsettling feeling that something's going to happen. You can't get it caught, whatever. Finally, it goes to leave. And this cup falls down. And she grabs everything. And just like one of those moments, like, yes, she pulled it off. But then the camera just shifts over to where the thing's just staring at her off to the side. Like, she caught it. She made no noise. But it's there staring at her. But I love it because, yes, this is the point where she gets that courage up, like, because the thing's coming right at her. And it's getting all those shots of the predator and the prey, the spider and the butterfly, the snake and the frog, all these visions of what she is, which is always the prey. But getting that courage to take all those pins that she's got in her hands and just stab the freaking thing. And the creature just slams in the building, rubble everywhere. And then for some reason, there's a working chainsaw right nearby. And so we get the chainsaw Tanuki, picks up the freaking chainsaw, starts it up, and this battle scene music going on. She's standing there all courageous, facing off against the big, massive Tremor, and then rushing up there, gonna take the thing out, gonna slice through its mouth. She's sick of it. She's pushing through all of her fears to become the predator. And she jumps up towards the thing, and then says, no, never mind. Still a Tanuki in the end. Never mind. Chucks the chainsaw, runs away. It was beautiful. And yeah, of course, the hook coming up and finishing off the thing. It was just beautiful through and through. Like the entire segment, again, from the point in which she decides, I'm going to do this. I'm going to help you guys I'm going to be the bait. From that point on, all the way into the very end segment right here was just beautifully paced, well played out. The shots were perfect. That tension, that brief moment of her kind of hiding away for a brief moment, having that courage kind of well up inside of her, striking back, standing up against the thing with a chainsaw, but then still having that moment of like, yes, comedy, which, I laughed out loud. I just wasn't expecting it. It just out of nowhere, suddenly she says, Moody, and she throws the freaking chainsaw and runs away. It's still like to her nature. She tried. She tried. But it was so beautifully done. Like the entire segment was just fantastic. But yeah, wrapping up the episode with them all eating the meat, and then her talking about customs. It says the customs of Z. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what they call the planet. The custom of Z is to, thank for the meal. So they do their little ikitakamatsu, and then, Yashio getting another achievement. Again, I just think it's making up achievements at this point. Like the AI is just making up achievements because I don't see, again, the owner having programmed it that there's going to be these massive worms that will show up and that she's going to have to cook the thing. But she gets a cute voice. It was just beautiful. It was just absolutely beautiful. The entire episode was just so phenomenal. And it sucks that this is sadly going to be a show that just nobody watches. And it's just through and through. It's going down. Like, it could end up being like my anime of the year. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming up here soon. But, like, it's got to be up there. It's going to be up there somewhere. It's just a show that just... it does everything right. Like through and through, this show just does everything right. It's not action-packed all the time. It's not, insanely funny, laugh out loud all the time. It's just the one thing that's consistent throughout the entire thing is it's charming. It's got great charm to it. Its characters just pop from the screen. And the way that they have nailed the aesthetic and the way that they've nailed the scenes, the visuals, the style itself, and the presentation and the animation, it just hits. It just hits. The comedy bits are just so perfectly executed. I can't get enough of it. Anyways, I just want to get on here and gush about it. For the two people that are watching the show, I'm sure this will not get much attention for this video. I was planning on doing weekly videos on this series, but I got super caught up on some other stuff, and unfortunately, it's just me talking to myself and the 500 people that are watching the show. So. At least that are, sub to my channel anyways. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, comment. Let me know. Are you guys massive fans? Are you not? More so importantly, are you somebody that's not watching the show and you're like, what the hell is this show he's still talking about? And you're on here going, hey, this actually sounds interesting. I'm going to check it out. Let me know if you actually do go check it out, because I think this is something that I would love people to spread more out there and to get the word out. This is a gem. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, y'all take care.